Mr. Clerk, this is the Health and Human Services Committee meeting today. I'd like to do a roll call.
Alderwoman Ingracia. Alderwoman Spencer.
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Green. Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Navarro.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderwoman Rice.
Present.
Alderman Todd.
Present.
Chairman Arnowitz.
Present.
Alderwoman Ingracia, Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Green, Alderwoman Martin. You have 6 present. A quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And could you excuse the alderperson that's not here today? I was sent the email from each one of them.
Okay, so noted.
And I guess the first thing on our agenda is we need to, I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of minutes for the meeting of Thursday, December 12th, 2019.
So moved. Second.
Oh, well, yeah, I think for discussion, because I think Lisa needs to change something.
On the minutes?
Ask for discussion.
On the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, and
I guess we can do it now.
for purpose of discussion, Alderwoman Middlebrook, I believe the last meeting you were counted, wasn't excused, and you did send an email.
Absolutely, yes.
And if we can
Change that.
somehow, Mr. Clerk, go back on the last meeting and have Alderwoman Middlebrook as excused on there. She did send an email. It was probably overlooked. So appreciate that.
Okay, we'll make that
So
correction.
would it help, Mr. Chairman, if we made a motion to amend the minutes from the previous meeting to include Alderwoman Middlebrook as a necessary excused absence?
Yes,
And then that,
and that's where I was going at next.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
didn't know
if
if
you
it
want to
was-
make
yeah.
the motion, that's fine.
to I make a motion to amend the previous minutes to include Alderwoman Middlebrook as a necessary excused absence.
Second.
And Mr. Clerk, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And so,
Do we need to then pass the approved minutes?
Yes.
I make a motion to, that we pass the amended minutes for Thursday, December 12th meeting.
Second. Previous roll? Was there a roll? There was a roll to previous.
Just say all,
Just move
just all in favor.
it. Just move it.
there you go. So by your motion, we passed the amendment.
There was a request for previous one.
There was no previous roll. Mr. Clerk, we need to do a roll call.
Roll call. Alderwoman Ingracia. Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Green. Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice.
Aye.
Alderman Todd.
Aye.
Chairman Arnowitz.
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingracia, Tyus, Green, Martin. There's 6 aye votes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And thank you again, everybody that was able to make it here today. Today we have Mr. Sikora from the Health Department and human. I always, why I do that to you? We'll get it right. Anyway, he's here today for Board Bill 187, which the bill authorizes and directs the Department of Human Services through the St. Louis Agency on Aging on behalf of the City of St. Louis to accept a grant award from the St. Louis Community Foundation in the amount of $26,000. And what I'll do, I'll just give it a brief thing. It's just a grant that they've been awarded already We just need to get this through the process and get it voted out and through the board.
Thank you very much. For the last two censuses, the St. Louis Area Agency on Aging has always reached out to the underserved and the older adults in the city and persons with disabilities to ensure that they get information about the census and have it answered. Fortunately, this year, the St. Louis Regional Fund, in coordination with the St. Louis Community Foundation, put out awards, which we applied for to help the outreach and helping the underserved. We were successful in that, and we have $26,000 that we're going to be distributing to various providers to assist in the outreach and assistance in doing the census. As you might be aware, the census is now going to be an online effort that they do, along with a telephone number. They're trying to step back from the actual knocking on a door if they can. And our goal through this award is to ensure that people are aware, number one, of the new ways to answer the census, the ability to help those that don't have access either to a computer or who need help doing it, and or helping them on the telephone thing. The census, the federal government is hoping that that effort, those two steps, will get the majority of people taken care of before they have to actually knock on doors. So we're looking forward to continuing the outreach we've always done and now be funded for that and to help our provider network in doing some of that same work. I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sikora. I'll go down the line and let the alderpersons, if they have any questions. Alderwoman Spencer? Alderwoman Navarro?
Thank you.
Thank you for taking on this work, especially as we get closer to the census. I'm very encouraged to know that you all are out there doing this. So it looks like I just want to make sure I'm understanding this right. The proposal was for $33,800 and you all were awarded $26,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what's kind of the plan for that shortfall?
Okay, we have a little bit of money staying with us, about $1,400, which we're going to have staff be able to answer calls, but we're contracting with one of our senior centers in North St. Louis, the Northside Community Center, that has, and Robert Fulton Senior Development Fund. They're going to be doing a lot of outreach in their neighborhood. We have a current provider, Housing Options, provided for the elderly, which has a lot of case managers, and those specific individuals are going to be going to people's home who call and need assistance, and they're going to go out and do that work. We're expecting to touch at least 5,000 people during the course of this outreach. We serve a couple thousand people in our home delivered meal program, which will ensure that all of them get documentation, et cetera. But our goal is to make sure that not only the people who get the meal, but everybody else that we can reach that might be underserved gets served.
Great. Given the changes in the census process, what kind of are your forecasts for our ability to, I guess, to maximize participation?
I think it's going to be successful. I mean, a lot of people who, it'll be easy for those individuals who are comfortable with a computer. It won't be a problem. It's only 13 questions, I believe. Am I correct? 13 questions. And the telephone option is there for individuals that want to call, and it'll save people knocking on doors and having to constantly come back. So if we do what we're supposed to be doing correctly, and I think all the advertisement that's going to be going out by both the federal government, the city, and the state, I mean, it's important that the city advertise this tremendously because of the dollars that we get in. I think we'll see a good turnout.
Great.
I
So,
hope so, yeah.
like for the Meals on Wheels participants, will somebody be showing up with a tablet in order for them to participate?
No, they'll get the information on how to
Okay.
respond. It'll give information on what they'll need to do, and then it'll have a phone number for them to call if they need assistance. Gotcha. We're imagining a lot of people will have family that'll help, and we'll do what we can when people call.
Will you be able to then track how many of those people followed through, even just in asking a survey of, we shared this information with you last week, have you gone
Annalisa
online
Stover
yet?
is my community programs manager, and she can answer one or two of these questions a little better than
Thanks.
I can.
So for people that need assistance in the home, part of the grant is laptops and Chromebooks to be able to go out and do one-on-one visits. So as you know, we can't answer questions for people, but we can repeat the question, and this is guidance from the Chicago Regional Office. We can repeat the question, ask them what their response is. Once they say their response, repeat it back to them, ask them to confirm their response, and then mark it for them. So we do think that there will be a good turnout. And what was your other
The
question?
other one was if you'll be tracking in terms of the people that you're reaching out to, if they actually follow through and and participate in the census.
So we will be tracking, there are going to be 2 rounds of flyer distributions to the Meals on Wheels clients, and then we'll also be doing one-on-one counseling sessions and assistance over the phone. So we'll be able to track the flyers that went out, the one-on-one counseling that we did where we assisted people in completing, as well as the phone calls. But there will be some Meals on Wheels folks that we send a flyer to where they complete it, but we're not able to say for 100% accuracy, yes, they did it.
And the census, you're not allowed, that's
Okay.
private information, so we're not going to be able to
see.
keep a long-term record of, oh, yes, they answered the census.
I see. Okay,
We'll know who we provided assistance to.
sure.
And I expect with the outreach that we've always done in the past and with this enhanced outreach, we should get a good turnout.
Great, thank you. No more questions.
Thank you. Alderwoman Middlebrook?
No questions.
Alderman Todd?
No questions.
Do you, and I guess you probably wouldn't notice, but with this helping, and I think the goal is hopefully we get a lot more people that will fill the census out, because I know last time there's probably a lot of people that didn't fill it out, and maybe, because they wasn't able to get any kind of help, or maybe people coming, and I think you're right, because I think a lot of people just don't answer their doors these days. So hopefully I think it'll be very successful. And then I want to apologize. I overlooked my colleague, Alderwoman Rice.
Thank you.
I wanted to save the best for last.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question. Where does this grant stand in comparison to 10 years ago, or as far as the same amount of effort? Or
Never received funding for
Okay.
any of the outreach we've done in the past. This was an effort done by the St. Louis Regional Census Fund to help agencies, and there were, do you happen to know the number of groups that applied and got grants?
So it was a regional grant that was offered. There were $300,000 in funds. I think that the meetings I attended, there were well over 75 people in attendance. In the city of St. Louis, there's a list of about 20 agencies that were funded.
Great. Okay, so this is
First time effort that
Great.
because we've done this in the past out of our own thing. We've published flyers, put flyers out to everybody. This is important because the census has a major impact on the funding we get through all the interstate funding formulas, et cetera, that come in. And the whole city, the HUD and CDBG monies and, transportation monies are all based on population. So we make a big effort to ensure that the seniors and persons with disabilities are counted.
good. Okay, so we're expecting that this is going to expand our participation in the census over 10 years ago. Okay, great.
And in 2010, they estimated that the state of Missouri lost $1,272 per person that was not counted.
Yeah.
And that's, food stamps, Medicaid, it's also dollars for rebuilding roads, highways. So our big push is make sure that you get counted.
Right, absolutely. Great, thank you so much. If I could be added as a co-sponsor, that would be great.
Sure. Could you add Alderwoman Rice as a co-sponsor, please? And Alderwoman Tyus, I hate your excuse because I heard from you, but you was able to make it. And I don't know if you had a chance to read over
I have no
the bill.
questions. I did read it. You know I'm crazy, and you can add me as a co-sponsor.
Okay, thank you. So if there's no other questions, I'd like to entertain a motion to pass. Oh, sure.
Write that down. I had no questions. That won't happen again.
Okay, thank you. So, if there's no more questions, I would entertain a motion to pass Board Bill number 187 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
I move that we pass Board Bill 187 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Ingracia, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green, Alderwoman Martin, Alderwoman Navarro,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Todd. Aye. Chairman Arnowitz,
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingracia, Spencer, Green, Martin. You have 6 aye votes.
Thank you, and by your vote, we've passed Board Bill number 187 out of committee. Okay, Mr. Sikora, you want
Yeah, I'd just like to, what we're passing out to you, just so that you're aware, it is now the time for tax season, and we have a program that we are doing that helps people with the circuit breaker, the property tax rebate, as well as tax assistance in our office. So you've got 2 forms. Number 1 is a benefits site. We received monies from the city's senior fund, and that was passed a year ago. We got some additional money to add 3 benefit sites. So we have sites that are all listed there in the times that people can call our office and get appointments to set up assistance in doing their property rebate, tax, doing their, they can come to our office. AARP is doing a tax assistance for no cost in our office. So what you have is the information. If you want to make copies, pass it out, whatever. But our information and assistance people will take a name, set up an appointment near them at one of these benefit sites, or they can come to our office and get assistance. So I want to make sure you all had that, and if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Yes, ma'am.
I have to wait for the chair.
does anyone have any questions? Alderwoman Tyus?
So where do you get these sites from?
We, well, I'll let Annalisa answer that.
So we now have 20 sites across the city, and sometimes it's an existing organization that we already have a relationship with. Other times there's been a request from the community. And so we are down the road looking to expand sites. So if you see a need in your community and you want us to expand,
Exactly, you are very
please let us know.
low in North St. Louis, okay? You don't have enough in North St. Louis, and they're spread out. So
Yes.
I can make some suggestions to you.
That would be great. I know we're looking
Matthew
to,
Dickey is, everybody knows Matthew Dickey is right there.
Uh-huh.
It's very well known. So, and when, especially when you get across the highway, which I didn't used to represent, but I do now, there seems to be really is there one in your ward? Did they have one in your ward? I'm sorry.
ma'am.
So when you get there, you've got the whole 27th ward, the whole 2nd ward, part of the 1st ward, so.
we would like to expand. We started a new benefit site last year with Alderman Boyd, and
Okay.
we're in her office. And so if there are locations, the only
It
thing,
is one in 27th, okay, I'm sorry, I missed that one.
That's
Riverview
okay.
Development?
yes.
Well, then that's closer to the 20, right?
But we would be happy to expand. The only thing we ask is if there's someone there that can welcome people into the office, and then we often need a copier to copy forms. So if you have ideas, we'll follow up on Matthew Dickey.
And does it have to be a not-for-profit? Could it be like a school, or what is?
Schools, libraries, we've partnered with in the past, so
Okay.
we're open to ideas.
Could it be like Wool Center? Which is
Yes.
the recreation center?
Yeah.
Because that's the one that's close to me and a group that seems to be kind of left out, so it could be something like that.
Yeah, maybe we could reach out to you to get a good contact person.
Okay.
For a while, we have had folks come to our Spring Jubilee from Wool, so I know they have good senior participation there. We just need to connect with them.
Right, okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions?
Well, thank you. Just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that you were aware, and it's now tax season, so we want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity, and we're providing this a service for the city.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Ayes have it. Thank you, everybody.
Well done.
Trouble every time.
11:30.